Hey, how's it going, guys? And welcome back to the North Investor, where we all about personal finance on our path to financial freedom. Today, for the third episode of 1 year to beat the stock market performance with my own stock portfolio, I will share with you my portfolio update for the month of October and the beginning of November 2022. But before, let's take a look at what are my personal objectives. Obviously, since I am aiming to beat the stock market performance, I will aim for a lot of growth. But since we have seen recently with the Fed that has increased the rates, we are currently in a downtrend momentum on the market. I will obviously keep many different defensive stocks, so mainly some value stocks, to be able to react better to different big drawdown. Unfortunately, at the moment, I have lost one of my jobs, so I'm trying to find another job, but at the moment, I've obviously lose a certain part of my income, meaning that I have not invested a lot during the month of October, as you will see, but I still want to be able to aim for a better diversification of my overall portfolio. I will also try to reduce the position that I have in one stock that I have, for example, 10% or more, for example, Raucan. And once again, I'm trying obviously to beat the market, so that means that I want to beat the stock market performance on 1 year. So now let's take a look at my portfolio. As you can see, my cash position has reduced a lot in the month of October because I've wanted to use a lot of this liquidity to buy different ETFs. Here you will see the results of my own portfolio since the beginning of September, meaning that it's on a 2-month period. As you can see with my different tech stocks, they have been massively down, and more precisely Meta that has lost close to half of its value since the month of September. Obviously, this is due to the fact that those are mainly some growth stocks, meaning that they are really focused on growth and potentially are more volatile than some defensive stocks. So obviously they have more risk, but also a higher potential of return. We can also see that my stock that I've added to my portfolio in October, which is Rumble, has slightly diminished, but it hasn't been as bad, for example, as Meta. In terms of the energy sector, we can see that my two oil companies, which are Enbridge and Pembina, have also slightly diminished since September, but keep in mind that those are giving some great dividends to their shareholders. More precisely, Pembina has giving some great monthly dividends. Unfortunately, for the green renewable energy, we have seen that it hasn't been able to perform pretty well since the beginning of the year, as well as my Algonquin stock, which is down of close to 20%. And as you can see, the financial sector has been one of the best sectors since September, as we can see with the big Canadian banks that I do hold that are pretty positive compared to my other picks, except the Nova Scotia Bank that has been down of close to 10%. My two communication companies, which are Bell and TELUS, haven't been performing too bad since September, as we can see with a slight decrease of about 2% for Bell and 5% for TELUS. And my consummation company, Couche-Tard, has been performing pretty well and has been one of my best performers during the last couple of months. As well as Savaria, which is my material company, which is up of about 6% since September. One of the big part of my portfolio, as I told you, which is Raucan, has unfortunately been down of about 3%, which is not too bad. And finally, my super small position in VNP has been performing super well recently with about 43% of growth in the last 2 months. On 2 months, my stock portfolio has been doing about less 9% of return, which obviously doesn't include all the dividends that I've received from those companies. So about less $7,000 since the beginning of the challenge that I've lost technically. And if we compare it with the market, unfortunately, we don't have the 2 months data, but on 3 months, we can see that the market is down of more than 9%, which means that I'm pretty fair with my return. But if we compare it with the last month, we can see that the stock market has been down of only about 2%. As you can see, it's going to be pretty hard for us to predict if my portfolio performance will be better or worse compared to the overall market after 1 year. However, as you can see with the recent drop of the different tech companies on the market, my position in the technology companies have recently dropped massively to about 23% of my portfolio, which means that as you can see, my finance position is my biggest part of my portfolio with about 30% of my portfolio. And personally for me, it is a pretty good news because the finance sector is one of the best sector on the market for the stability, and at the same time I received some great dividends from those companies.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
And after, you can see that the energy and the real estate sectors are my other big sectors on my portfolio. And you might notice that I still have not had any new healthcare stocks nor services stocks because at the moment I don't think that it's the best places where I should invest my money. And as you can see, I haven't made any big money moves during the month of October 2022 because I personally have invested most of my capital into different ETFs. And in the next month, I might not do a lot of moves, but if I do some, I will most likely invest in different real estate companies to try to diversify this sector in my portfolio. And if I continue to see some great discount for different tech stocks, I might buy also some different companies in discount. And guys, if you want to see some of the best stocks that you can buy right now in November 2022 to have some insane high growth, make sure to check out the video that's going to be right over here. And for everyone that is new, make sure to join the North family by subscribing to the channel for only $0.0, and I will see you soon. Peace!